Head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. A young caller with what the Browns should do in the draft.
Hi. I was wondering, what do you think the Browns need to do for the draft? With all their picks and everything, which players do you think they should take in order to reach the Super Bowl next year?
All right. As always, we appreciate the voicemails. So, Tim, I think you and I are in agreement. The passing game needs to be upgraded significantly, and they probably need to make sure that the pass rush is as good as it was this year. If they can upgrade it a little bit, all the better. Those are the two areas I think they need to kind of focus on.
Absolutely. I mean, the game has kind of become, how can you help your quarterback win? Do you have a good enough passing game to win? And how can you affect the other team's quarterback with either pressure or coverage or a combination of both? So, there's a reason defensive end or edge rusher is the second most important position, behind quarterback, because you need to be able to affect those guys with pressure. And obviously, even if the Browns do bring back Jadeveon Clowney, they need a third guy. With Takk McKinley, having the torn Achilles, may not have him back in Cleveland for next season. And then receiver, we've talked about for months that this team just lacks dynamic players at the position. And you saw in the final four teams that got to the conference championship games, each one of them had at least one dynamic outside player that, keeps teams from playing basic man schemes, that's forcing that tilts coverage a certain way to free up things for other guys. And the Browns just simply didn't have that this past season. And that's something they really need to get in this offseason, whether it's in the draft, one guy or even two guys, like I've said, might not be a bad way to go, but that's a position that needs to be overhauled, along with strengthening that pass rush and making sure you have multiple guys that can, rotate it in and out and create continuous havoc.
Yeah, and, people will point to the Titans and say, well, they were the #1 seed. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. So that's, in my mind, that's what separates them.